Well, g'day everyone. So today it's Anzac Day long weekend. We're heading in the Arm River track. Got a lease camp in Pillion Gap, but the plan is to camp up the slopes of Pelion East somewhere. It's going to be a cracker of a weekend, so hopefully be a good sunset and good sunrise. Thermometer in the car says -2, so it's a bit of a fresh start, but there's not a cloud in the sky, so she's going to be good. Talk to you later. So this is just a map of the Arm River track, where I camped on Pelion East and wandered around the slopes of Ossa, and then had my second night back at Pillion Hut. Alright, made up the hill. There's the track, but we're going to go this way. Going to go past the turn off to Mount Pillinger. It's just a nicer track. It's a bit flatter, and a day like this with the sun out, it's going to be beautiful. So there's a turn off to Pillinger. You probably see Pillion West there, maybe in the distance Reedy Lake. And we take a hard right here and we head across now to come out the main track. It's near the bridge on Warragara Creek. And there we go. We're back on the boardwalk now, just a couple of 100 metres from Warragara Creek. And that was telling me it's exactly 5 kilometres from the car. Well, you can only just see it, but that lump behind me is the northern end of Pelion East, and the tip's just sticking up there. So yeah, we're halfway. Still a nice day. Well, look at this absolutely wonderful example I found here. Reasonably fresh, probably laid last night. Oh, look at that, frosty, straight out of the fridge. I just walked straight past Pillion Hut because it's such a beautiful weekend. As you can imagine, the place was absolutely packed. Yeah, okay, so we're just heading up towards Pillion Gap from Pillion Hut, just up here in the rainforest. Yeah, it's actually a beautiful little walk on a day like this. Here we are in Pillion Gap. Not a bad day. There's Ossa up there. Oh, we left Pillion Gap and heading up Pelion East now. As you can see, it's still a beautiful day. It's Mount Ossa there in the background, if you can see it. So we're about halfway up Pelion East. I just need a break, rest the pack on a rock, and as you can see, the view's not bad. Looking back from July, it's hard to believe the weather was ever that nice. And you can see behind me there, that's Pelion East North. That was one of my main targets. I'd never been out there. So I've set up my camp and I'm going for a walk to, I suppose you call it Pelion East North. It's probably about half hour over this other little hill. About 3 hours to dark. I think I'm camped at about, it said 1,374 metres, so it's going to be pretty chilly tonight, but have a nice cup of tea and yeah, early night I think. So there's Pelion East, Duquesne Range under the fog. There's Mount Ossa, Thetis under the fog, Paddy's Nut right next to it. There's Pelion West sticking up there above everything. Somewhere out there's, oh, what else is out there? There's Barn Bluff above the fog, and there's Mount Oakley with Cradle above it in the way in the distance. Down there's Pelion Plains, Lake Eyre. Looking back the way I walked in today, there's Western Bluff where I was, what, 4 days ago. Mount Pillinger was there a week ago. And then you're looking back over towards the walls of Jerusalem. Here in front of me is, I can't remember, it's Dean's Bluff. And over there's Cathedral Mountain and Twin Spires where I was probably a month, 6 weeks ago. There's the tarn I'm getting water out of. There's Pelion East. There's my little tent. Not too bad a spot to camp. I don't know if you can make it out, but middle of the screen there's my tent down next to the tarn, and we swing around there's the track, and if you can see that white blob in the middle, that's where everyone sits down at Pillion Gap. Well, it's been a beautiful day. I couldn't think of a better place to spend it as the sun goes down. I was going to stay up here and cook my tea, but it's getting really cold. I reckon the sun's about 20 minutes, half an hour away from going behind Pillion West. But I'll spin you around. The view is fantastic. There's Pillion West there, shining in the clouds. The clouds starting to drop because Barn Bluff and Cradle are just starting to stick out a bit more. There's Cradle Mountain, Barn Bluff, just glowing like they're on fire. There's Pillion West, sticking up there. There's Paddy's Nut, Mount Thetis, there's Mount Ossa. Doesn't get much better than this. Keep coming around here. Little turrety one there's Mount Hyperion. Big fella there's Mount Massive. G'day everyone, it's I think it's about 7:15. Sun rises in about 10 minutes I think. So we're nearly at the top of the mountain again. We'll just go up and see what it looks like. Yeah, the sky's going orange already, so I reckon it's going to be pretty good. How's that for a breakfast view? Now the eastern slopes of Pelion East, absolutely beautiful. All these big grassy slopes, huge cliff lines. There's actually a couple of overhangs you could quite happily set your tent up in. Yeah, I sort of end up spending the whole morning wandering around. Well, I just stopped in these pines for lunch, but I found a tree stump. So now I'm just wandering around because you never know, there might be something else I need to find. Just up here under the slopes of Ossa, there's a waterfall I've seen for years, but can't get to it, so I have to go to plan B. Don't know what that is. As I said, I tried to get over to a waterfall I'd seen for over the years and couldn't get to it, but interestingly I found some really old tree stumps, so I think a trip is called for again come summer. So just coming up to Pillion Gap. This is Pelion East, where I was last night. Here's the overland track leading into Pillion Gap, Mount Doris, and there's Mount Ossa. A beautiful day. Right over here, creek. Very good name, because just I think less than 100 metres up the hill here is one of the original snarers' huts. So I'm going to head up, see if we can still find it. It's just up there, I think. So yeah, I think we've come to the right spot. Here's the remains of his hut. Can't think of the name. I think it was McCoy. There's not much left, but he had it pretty well hidden, didn't he? Probably a bit of steel work across his fire to cook on. Looks like it came from an old mine somewhere. We'll see what else we can find. It's like the remains of probably the remains of a pot. You can see the rim around the top, or maybe a bucket. Yeah, there's plenty more stumps here hidden through the bush. Hang on, look at this down here. Look what we found. So there's the lid off his camp oven. There's his cross. Oh wow, the crosscut saw is actually stuck. The tree's grown through it. So there you go. There's probably not much more left around here. More bits of steel work. I don't know, it could be an old Kero tin or something just laying here. This big stump he's cut here, you can even see the marks where he's had his shoes in. He's cut her off pretty high. Oh well, we're on plenty of boardwalk now, so we're not too far from Pillion Hut, and so it's coming up 4 o'clock. And yeah, I was up at 5:45 to get that sunrise and haven't stopped except for lunch, so looking forward to getting there, having a wash, maybe a swim, and a cup of tea, and sitting down and relaxing. Just coming out for a bit of a stroll. It's a beautiful evening, not a breath of wind. Sun will set soon. Anyway, it's time to go back and make some tea. I've just come up Douglas Creek here to have a look at the waterfall. Just got this bit of a bank here. Now it'll spin you around. How magical is this? It's time to head back out of the car. As you can see, it's way too nice today to be going home. But anyway, gotta go back to work somehow. Wasn't a bad frost this morning. It's white over there. I think it was about -1 when I got up. But yeah, another day in paradise. So here's the remains of a bridge from the Innes track. That was the original track here that went through the west coast. And it's still standing, sort of. Now walking in and out, I went the alternative way past the turn off to Mount Pillion Gap. But if you're not confident in your navigation or familiar with it, it's probably not worth taking, as it's fairly scrubby and you can lose it in a few places. Oh, that's the end of another fantastic Tasmanian adventure. The weather was awesome and so was the scenery. So thanks for watching.